In this second part of the demonstration on Clubhouse, I wanted to show you a little bit more about room management, what you can do in a room, how you can invite people up, how you can throw out someone who's being unruly, and how you can see who's in the room. I mentioned, I think, in part one of this demo that club management still wasn't available on Android by and large. You can't start a club. You can't accept members into your club. I discovered some other things while doing this today that also aren't available on Android just yet, although depending on when you hear this, it may all be fixed. The first is, while you can start a room immediately on a club on Android, you can't schedule a room for later. You can schedule a room as long as you don't want it to be in a club. So if it's just going to show up on your followers' hallways, that's fine. But the post to club button, which is available on iOS, is not available yet on Android. So I had to create this on iOS. What I then discovered, though, was when I came to start it on Android, I couldn't. There was no start room button. So I had to go back onto the iPhone, hope that someone else, one of the admins came in. Mariam did, so I made her a moderator and left. If I hadn't have done, it would have either randomly allocated a moderator, or if there'd been no one here, it would have ended the room. Logged back in on the Android side, and because the room was already open and Mariam was in it, I was able to rejoin it. So let's just have a look then at this screen. Your view will be a little bit different to mine because I am the moderator of this room, or one of them. I'm going to start at the top of the screen.
Double tap to activate. Double tap and hold to long press. Labels available. Use swipe up then right to view.
It's got me, and it's going to go through the list of speakers now.
Clubhouse demo. Part club. Blind Android users. Options. Button. Room mode. Button. Honeybee club rooms are for club members only, unless open to everyone on Clubhouse. Double tap to activate.
So I'm going to go into room mode and see what I can do in here.
Area. Row 2. Column 1. Room mode. Button. Honeybee club rooms are for club members only, unless open to everyone on Clubhouse. Submit. Row 3. Column area. Row 2. Double. Room mode. Button. Honeybee club rooms are for club members. Area. Row 2. Room mode. Options.
And what I can do with that is not an awful lot. What I would be able to do with it, as the founder of the club, I think I could make this room available to club members plus everyone on Clubhouse. I could do that when I created the event as well. That button, while it makes the sort of noise you get when you double tap and hold on a button, it doesn't appear to bring up a context menu. I'm going to go look in options, which we went past on the way to room mode.
Clubhouse. Share room and list. Let visitors in. Search room. Report audio problem. Add room.
So I can let visitors in. I can, this is where I would go to end the room. I'm just going to go back.
Clubhouse. Options. Button. Row 1. Room mode. Button. Mariam. Row 2. Column 1.
So Mariam's at the top of the list. Makes sense. She's the other moderator.
Edward. Column 5. Warren. Column 9. Samantha. Row 3. Column 1. Kevin. Column 5. Leave quietly. Button. Out of grid.
And so those are all the people in the room. And then at the bottom of the screen, bottom left-hand corner,
button, leave quietly, button, Clubhouse.
You'll have a leave quietly button if you're in a room.
Leave quietly, button. Double ping someone into the room, button.
I can ping someone into the room.
Raised hands list. Present the hands are raised, button. Double tap to activate.
Let's go in here. It says hands are raised. Let's see if they actually are.
Raised hands. Open to everyone. Edit, button. No one has their hand raised yet.
No one has their hand raised. There we are.
Raised hands.
So we'll back out of here. If people do have their hands raised, this is where you would go to admit them. It's worth checking this just in case you miss notifications, because they can be quiet. If there's a lot of conversation going, you may not see them. And I can mute myself here, and that's in the bottom right-hand corner. For people who aren't currently on stage, that will be a raise hand button. As I said in episode 1 of this demo, in the room you have the audience, which is where people who aren't moderators will start by default. You can't speak in the audience, but you can raise your hand. And you have the stage, which is where the speakers are and those who've been asked to speak. They can invite you up onto the stage without you raising your hand if you're in the audience. You might find that happens almost immediately. You enter some rooms, particularly those with a more relaxed social aspect. That's likely to be the case. But otherwise, you may have to put your hand up to speak. You may never be invited to speak, depending on the room. If it's a big room with, one or two speakers, or maybe even more than that, but hundreds of attendees, you could have your hand up to your heart's content and not be invited. It's really the moderator's pleasure. So I want to check. Interestingly, on here, it doesn't show me whether everyone is on stage or in the audience. So that's something you would get on the iOS app. I'm sure it will come to Android, but it would say whether you're a moderator, whether you're a speaker, and then it segments the rest of the room into followed by the speakers and other people who are just in the audience. Can I ask everyone who is on stage now to unmute? Who wants to spend a couple of minutes just talking about anything really? Android themselves. I need someone to be talking for a good sort of minute and a half, 2 minutes. Who's good at that?
Well, the girls have been kind of more into this clubhouse thing, and addicts. Hey now. Don't call people out like that, what? No, but seriously, so the girls have been kind of more into this thing. I'm just not so much into it, but they made a confession, I think a couple of days or so ago. That they've been.
We're just going to turn that down a little bit, and I'm going to show you what you can do with a speaker.
So, girls, how about you talk a little bit about your experience on the clubhouse? Don't be afraid, don't be shy. I have forgiven your sins. So go ahead.
Wow. So let's have some fun with them now. They're talking.
Oh my goodness. I can speak.
So we're in a profile now. I'm going to turn that down a little bit further.
I lost my party hat, which I think also can. I don't know if you can see it. I sort of, you follow people and you find interesting things, and then it kind of becomes addicting, and then people start pinging you into places, and you're like, I'm trying to be off the app now. Doesn't happen.
So we're in this profile.
But like I said, Miriam, I'm forgiving you girls. Your sins are forgiven for being addicted to the clubhouse.
And near the bottom of the screen, we have options.
So Ed wants you to talk a little bit about your experience. So Tab was just starting to talk about her experience.
And here at the bottom of the screen, we have options. You can start a closed room with someone. You can make a moderator. You can move to audience. Or view through profile. So if someone is being rowdy, this is where you could go. So I'm going to put Tabitha in the audience.
Oh, so it will be in the settings when you are setting up your profile and all of that, where you take all that navigator and all of that, and take a look at that, which is a hat.
So Tabitha has a minor problem now, and because hats are off topic, on the demo you will have heard Tabitha cut out and disappear into the ether, and that's because I was demonstrating the profile screen and I put Tabitha into the audience. So that's what you can do if someone is being a little unruly. You can take them off stage. You can go into their profile. Marion, do you want to rescue Tabitha from the audience, or shall I do it on the basis I've put her there? So I'll go back in and rescue Tabitha then. Invite to speak. There we go. That's what you can do if someone's redeemed and you want to restore them from the audience where you've banished them to. That's towards the bottom of the profile. And Tabitha should be able to speak again now.
Redeemed.
What What was interesting, I was describing the screen layout there, and I said it didn't really show you who was a moderator and who was a speaker. That was, I think, because everyone was on stage, and while it didn't show you who was a moderator and who was a speaker, you did get that followed by the speakers section.
Ed, I want to point something out. If you actually went to someone's profile who's already a moderator, it would tell you that he is a moderator.
Oh yeah.
It won't tell you unless you go.
That's right. But what it will do is it will have an audience section, because it'll have followed by the speakers, and that's an indicator that it's that they're not on stage at the time. So that is room management on Clubhouse. The interesting thing as well is that moderators can throw each other out of the audience, into the audience, and indeed out of rooms. So be very careful about who you make a moderator, because even though you are one and even though it's your room, you can be thrown out. So I'd just be careful about that. And that is probably all by way of the formal demo of the recording. So that's.
Oh, hold on, Ed. I was just going to move you to the audience.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, move me to the audience. It won't really come out on here unless you also start talking, because I'm talking on Zoom as well. So yeah, you could throw me out, and then I can try and speak, and you can ignore me.
Okay, I hear girls. I got a question. Let's bring Ed back.
I've been thrown out, and it's changed all my sound as well. So that will have gone really quiet on the recording. They can't hear me. I've been thrown out.
Maybe later. Button. Out of grid. Join a speaker. Button.
So I was invited to join a speaker near the top of the screen, as I showed you on part 1, and I'm back.
I got a question.
Yeah.
And this is something that I observed the last time we were on here. I think it was Tab, myself, Austin, Kevin, and I think Gabe was another person, and some other lady, Leanne, that came in but didn't speak. But what I noticed, however, is that anyone in the room could invite someone into the room. Wasn't that something that is supposed to be only allowed by moderators, or am I missing something here?
Was that a room in the club? Or was it just a general, was that a room in Blind Android Users Club?
Yes.
Interesting. I might have to go and revisit the settings on that. I can invite others in, but if the room's restricted to private club members, let's see if it'll let me do it.
Back button. Navigation bar. Leave quietly button. Pick someone into the room.
Yeah. So
Share. Pick someone into the room.
what I'm trying to say is
Double tap to
that
activate.
okay, someone comes into the room, but they're not on stage.
No.
It appears to me like anyone can invite them to come up to the stage. And that was what I was noticing when we were talking here.
No, that's not possible. You have to be a moderator
Well, it
to
was.
invite someone to speak.
No, you shouldn't be able to invite people. I think we all just got made moderators. That's what was happening. Because I got made. Yeah, I got made a moderator.
Yes, I am a moderator, so I was able to invite Ed to speak and move him to the audience, and that's all.
Yeah, I am interested to know whether I can just ping any old person in now. So I'm going to have a look, see what it's going to let me do, because I have restricted this room to members only. So it would be interesting if members can ping in non-members. Let me just see what it lets me do. I hit the ping someone into the room button.
Search. Edit box. Magic King of Lynn. Row 1. Stephen Anthony. The Gilded Rhino. Paul Hopkins. Rose. Tommy Corboy.
It's showing me all sorts of people I could potentially ping in.
Paul. Tommy. Matthew Cooper. Column 9.
Which is
Brady, row 3. Column 1.
interesting.
To activate. Cameron Morel. Column 5.
Let's see what it does if I actually try and do it.
Cameron Morel. Danny Clark. Column. Cameron Morel. Column. Ariane Asberg, row 4, column 9. Jeff Bishop, Matt A. Ariane Asberg, Iron Ant, Rose and Dermot, Annie, Cameron, Chuck Brady, Matthew, Tommy, Paul Lock, The Gilded, Stephen, Magic.
Have I got a
Search, edit,
back
share,
button?
button, pick someone into. Share, search, Magic, Stephen, The Gilded, Paul Lock, Tommy, Matthew, Chuck Brady, Cameron Morel, column 5.
So I
Chuck Brady,
tried
column 1.
to ping someone who wasn't a member. It didn't particularly give me any feedback. Let's see if it does anything different if I ping in Austin,
Shift, O, A,
who is a member.
U, S, T, T. Editing, Austin, pick someone into the room.
So I think what it is that you can pick someone to come to join the chat, right? That's how I'm understanding it.
Yeah, but this room's not visible, so whether pinging overrides a visibility session, I don't know. So if I'm in a room that's a social room or an open room, and I think you might be interested, I can ping you into it. You'd be in the audience, and the moderator would still have to invite you to speak. If the visibility is restricted, though, I wouldn't have thought that pinging should work. But it may well do. I'll have to go and investigate that.
Can I speak to this a little bit?
Yeah.
So I think what happened was, because the room we were previously in, I think if you're talking about that room and the fact that all of us were able to bring like Austin back or whoever back, it was because somehow I gained moderator status. That's the only way I was able to bring him up. So it wasn't because I was on stage. It was because I specifically had, like, someone made me a moderator.
Yeah.
Austin before he hopped out. So that's what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know about the pinging though.
No, it's the pinging I'm interested in. You're right. Moderator wise, that's what happens. A moderator has to invite you up. Pinging when the room's not visible though, that I don't know. Interesting to see if any.
Because I went into, because if it were possible, what would happen is if you go into your profile and look at the people that are following you, if it was possible, then you could ping one of your followers to come to the room, right?
Yeah, and I can invite visitors in because I've got that in the options. We looked at that briefly at the start. So there is a way to do it beyond club members. So I don't know if pinging works. We might have to try and test that.
Yeah, and also I would like to say that you cannot ping someone if he's not following you back. So you should follow him, and if he follows you back, so you would be able to invite them to the room.
Yeah, that's right. Because otherwise, people who aren't following you would get all sorts of annoying notifications, and presumably, Clubhouse sends out enough notifications as it is, without, that would get quite a lot.
Yeah, so that totally makes sense, because if someone is not following you, they're probably not interested in the kinds of things that you're interested in, and so they decide, I'm not going to follow you. So you don't want to ping them, and so because I think they're probably trying to prevent spamming people, saying, "Hey, come in here and talk," and when that person is not interested, busy drinking some beer somewhere, something crazy like that.
That's right.
So it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Totally.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
So do we like Clubhouse then? Warren was accusing you two of being addicted.
Well, the girls are, and I'm trying to kind of learn it, and so I pull out my old Fruitvale, iPhone 7, today. And the battery's dead. So I just put that thing on a charger, and I'm going to log into it and see what the differences are when comparing it to what I have on my Android device.
Yeah.
Maybe I could get addicted to like these two. Who knows? You never can tell.
No, don't be. It's bad. It's not good.
We can tell.
Yeah, I think they'll fix it pretty quickly. I mean, lots of people were having problems with the iOS app at the start. It wasn't obvious when they were being pinged, buttons weren't labeled, tab order and all that stuff.
Save yourself, Warren. I do have one other observation, though.
What's that?
It is not immediately obvious if you've been thrown off stage, unless you're checking your mute/hand raise button. There's no like.
No. Actually, if you've been moved to the audience, the status of your phone would change. So if you are.
Oh, I know, but I mean, because I was talking when it happened, there was no notification. Like if I check my phone, I can tell that I've been moved. But
but you wouldn't know while you are speaking.
Yeah.
No.
So I didn't know until it was like, Tabitha's gone. I'm like, oh, I am. Oh.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. The other thing you don't get, that's true on both platforms. The other thing you don't get either is you don't get told when someone's left the room. So
I think that's on purpose because of the leave quietly, I believe.
Yeah. It's kind of annoying in a small room, though.
Because it has leave quietly.
Yeah.
Yes, in small rooms where you want to know.
Yeah. Like I can make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
There should be a toggle. There should be a toggle so that I'm not just talking to the wind.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody thought that I'm boring.
It's just left.
Desert my room. I don't want to be talking to the wind.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it.
You're checking. You're like, I just gave a whole passionate speech.
No one heard.
Yes. And also, by the way, it doesn't make a sound an alert unless you're a moderator when someone joins. If you are not, it won't make anything.
No, it won't.
Just
Okay. Interesting.
The way I know when people have entered the room is just because TalkBack updates the the list view.
Yeah.
You know, like showing
the indexation.
That's the only way I know.
Yeah.
Unless I actually am checking.
Because John just left 3 seconds or 5 seconds ago. John was where it says others in the room, because you have see now Iris is here. Should we let Iris in?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is something really interesting that I've noticed a couple of days ago. There was an event that I was interested in, and it appeared in my upcoming events, or it appeared on the top. So what I did, there was, when I actually went into it, there was something called bell icon. When I actually pressed that button, it told me that if I want to get notified about this room when it gets started, I should just hit follow all, so I follow all the hosts for this event. So it's gonna notify me when this room gets started, which is pretty interesting.
Like when someone gets the room active, or has some meeting going on,
Yes.
it'll let you know that meeting is now in session, and if you want to go in and party or not, right?
Yeah, because otherwise you may join a minute and a half late if you think, maybe they started it a minute early or something. So it can be quite helpful.
Yeah. So see, Iris just left. Of course, we didn't hear any alert, because you could choose to do that, leave quietly. And I think it's a good thing to have that leave quietly. But like I was saying earlier, it should be a toggle, so that if you're in a small community, and like I said, people are kind of tired of me, I need to know that people have left. If I'm not looking at the screen, I wouldn't know that they are gone. You know what I mean? So you get all involved and so, wrapped up in speaking and getting passionate about something, and realizing that you're talking to the wind,
Yeah. The other thing I've noticed for me anyway on my OnePlus 8 is that Clubhouse won't override the screen lock. It will on iOS. So your screen stays unlocked, but on my OnePlus, for instance, it just locked a few minutes ago while we were talking. So if I want to get back to the room and do things, I have to unlock my phone first.
What do you mean?
So I've got my screen locked to cut.
If you shut off the screen, right, and you hit the power back on, does that mean you're landed back into the Clubhouse UI? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I mean is that on iOS, Clubhouse overrides the automatic screen lock, so your screen stays awake. It doesn't seem to on my OnePlus 8, so I have a screen timeout and screen lock to come on after 2 minutes, and it will do that on the Android app. I have the same on iOS, but the screen stays awake like I'm watching a video.
Oh, it will not let the auto screen lock come on?
No, on iOS.
That's not right.
Well, I guess they figure.
I'm going to test it with mine. I'm going to go set mine to, my screen timeout on my Pixel to, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
See what it does. Because on my OnePlus, it respects the auto lock.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious.
It actually happens with me. Mine auto locks. It doesn't override it as well. So
I'm going to leave Clubhouse open and see if my screen times out in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And another thing that I observe on Clubhouse and actually I'm liking is that it does not hog, it doesn't hog tie the microphone. So I'm able to use my microphone while I'm talking on Clubhouse, like say, hey, I want to dictate some message on Telegram or some other place. And I think I really like that.
Will it let you do it if you're muted on Clubhouse?
There you go. My screen just timed out.
Yeah.
Just went off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will your phone's mic work if you've muted yourself on Clubhouse, or does it mute it for the system?
Okay, let me try it. So I'm gonna mute it, right? And I'm gonna try to send you a message on Telegram using the microphone, right?
Yeah.
And see.
See what it does. Should be kind of interesting. Be clever if it only mutes it for Clubhouse.
Yeah, actually what happens with me regarding that, if I'm a speaker, if I'm a listener, I can definitely dictate and record voice messages. But if I am a speaker, I can't do that because I am on a call. So it doesn't use the microphone for other stuff.
Yeah. Interesting to see how he gets on then.
Okay, I'm back. And actually, I was able to record a voice message and send it to you, while I was muted here on Clubhouse. Now, I want to try the same, sending you a voice message while my Clubhouse is unmuted.
Okay.
You know what? Just for giggles.
Yep.
You know what I would love to know?
Do I have tab?
I'm here.
Okay.
Hello.
Pause. Edit box. Search.
There we go.
Double tap to edit text. Double tap and hold to long press.
Okay,
Button.
so
Navigation bar. Double tap to activate.
I'm going to send another record. I sent a message, a recorded message on my Telegram to Ed, but I think it muted out Clubhouse because I could not hear you guys. And I'm not sure you could hear me or not.
No, it muted.
I could not hear you.
No, it muted you automatically.
So, okay, I'm going to try a split screen, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to have both running.
And see what it
I'm going
does.
to have both Clubhouse and Telegram running. I hope it supports split screen.
You know what I would love? I would love to know, love to know if you could listen to, like, you could mute yourself and listen to audio.
Let's see.
That would be interesting.
Okay, here's split screen.
Do you mean listen to audio from another app as well?
Okay,
Sorry,
so
yes,
I got
like a voice message or something.
Yeah.
I got Telegram and Clubhouse. Can you guys still hear me?
We can.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'm gonna send another recording to Ed. I think I cannot hear you guys.
We can still hear you.
Okay, there you go. I hear
Yeah,
you. So
we're all good.
I'm gonna hit record.
Okay. Can you hear us now, Warren?
I still hear you.
Yeah.
We're talking. La, 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 la.
No one's being thrown into the audience.
Okay, did you guys hear me say I'm sending a message to Ed and I'm still hearing you guys? Did you hear that or no? Okay, but I was still hearing you while I was recording and Tab was saying I'm talking.
Interesting. So I wonder if I can play it
So
in
that's
Telegram.
really it. I like it.
Calendar.
I really like it.
The thing is that
Settings. 6.
do the voice messages work because
Double tap to
here
activate.
they are sent, but there
Telegram.
is no
4 of 10.
sound when I listen to them.
Telegram.
So
Yeah, that's what I was trying to ask.
No, it does have sound. I can play voice messages while I'm, and at the same time I can hear you guys.
Showing items 1 to 8 of 24.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear it
See,
simultaneously.
now I'm playing my voice message
Yeah.
and I can still hear you guys.
Can you hear me?
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I could hear your voice message and Clubhouse. Yeah.
006. Out of list. Delete.
Do we come through on
That's
the voice
really neat.
recording?
I like it.
Double tap and hold to long
No.
press. Editing options available. Attach media button. Overview
Nice.
button. Navigation.
Can you play my voice recording, Ed, while you still hear us?
Yeah.
On mine, I can.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Double tap to edit text. Double tap and hold to long press. Editing options available. Use swipe up and right of view.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me see if it'll work on my end. LG.
Share button. Pin someone into the room.
Yeah. If it doesn't,
Share.
then try
Austin,
using it in a split screen mode. See if it does.
Yeah, I didn't use it split screen. I just did it. I just put Telegram over the top of it.
I did it normal. It works normal.
Yeah.
And then, but when I was trying to record the message to you guys, it muted you guys. But when I put it on a split screen, I could still hear you as well as still recording my voice message. So I think that's really neat.
That is neat.
Yeah. So in actuality, I could dictate a voice message while I'm on the Clubhouse. And of course, you guys are not going to be hearing what I'm saying to that bimbo of mine over there. Oh my gosh. Isn't that something?
It is. It's good.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Ed, because I know both you and Miriam, gosh, it's late out there, guys.
Yeah, I think I am going to get this closed down, at least from my end, but I can leave the room open because Marion's a moderator, but I'm going to fire this off to Austin for an upload, I think. But thanks very much, everyone, for joining.